So, what is the difference in nursing homes, assisted livings, care homes, group homes? Lovey, I'm about to blow my mind because I cannot figure out the difference.
Hey, loves. Welcome to A Touch of Love Talks podcast. I'm Lovey Baxter, family nurse practitioner, master's level social worker, and certified dementia practitioner. I'm so glad you're here. This is a safe space to talk about the challenges of taking care of your aging family member. I'm going to teach you how to protect your peace. Make sure you are informed and supported through this difficult journey. So you made it. You're in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Get comfortable, kick back, and let's dive in.
Hey, listen, today we are tapping back in. I know y'all have been tearing me up in the group chats. Y'all been tearing me up in the email. Drop it in my inbox because I have been MIA. Okay, it's been for a good reason. I promise you. I promise you. We are in the middle of an expansion project, but I stopped everything I was doing so that I could come back and answer some questions that I've gotten while doing my expansion with my business. So, we're here today to talk about it. I'm glad you're here. Buckle up. Let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to A Touch of Love Talks, the podcast. I'm so glad that you all made it in. Listen, I am here to answer the questions that I keep getting in the middle of this expansion project. Yes, you all want to know, Lovey, what in the world are you over there doing? We don't understand all of this. You're talking about a care home. We thought a care home was a group home. Well, what about a nursing home? What about an assisted living? We are here to answer all of those questions for you today. So let's just start at the beginning. What do? I run residential care homes. And the easiest way that I tell my family members to wrap their heads around it, because I know it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming when you're trying to, first of all, be a caregiver, right? And now you're trying to jump through all the medical jargon. So this is the way that I have my families break it down so that they can understand the terminology that this industry encompasses. So, when you think about a care home, what are we talking about? We're talking about care, right? It's in the word. A care home is going to be a home that provides care for a senior citizen. That means somebody should be there. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Right? Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth because you all are all out here in the streets. You're putting mom and dad places that they don't need to be put. Now, I said it, and I'm going to say it again. You have to understand the needs of mom and dad before you can just go and place them somewhere. Yes, where you're placing them may be pretty. Yes, where you're placing them may be cute, but that has nothing to do with the care that they should be receiving if they need care. All right? So when you think about a care home, we're talking about care. Somebody should be there to provide the care. I'm dropping lyrics today, right? So let's back up a little bit and let's start at the beginning. If your mom and dad is up, they're walking around, they can do for themselves, they can still cook their own meals. Let's say they're even driving. They may be appropriate for independent living. And independent living is exactly what it says, independent living. They can live somewhere independently with someone, periodically just going and checking on them. This is where you can pop in and do your little 30-minute check-ins. Mom, dad, hey, just wanted to drop by on my lunch break. Just wanted to drop by after work. Make sure you're okay. This is what independent living looks like, okay? Then let's move on to assisted living. Assisted living, meaning that they get some type of assistance in their daily activities of living. So, what are daily activities of living? I'm glad you asked. Bathing, dressing, grooming, all of those fun things. Do they need help with it? Okay. If they do, then they may be appropriate for assisted living. Mom, dad, can get dressed, but sometimes putting on their socks is a little bit hard. So they may need somebody to pop in and help. Mom can take her on meds, but sometimes she just needs a reminder. She needs somebody just to come and check on her. Mom, dad doesn't really belong in the kitchen, so let's put them somewhere that their meals will be provided, but everything else, going to the bathroom, taking their meds, things like that, they can still do. So, assisted living is going to be a combination of different types of activities of daily living that they can get assistance with. Okay. They may be okay in one area, which is, let's say, getting dressed, but they need those medication reminders, right? They may be okay with taking their medication, but they're not good in the kitchen. So, they need someone to make sure they're getting 3 meals a day. So, assisted living, they're getting assistance with helping them with their activities that they need for daily living. That makes sense? Okay. Now, let's go to the wonderful word that pops up a lot in my industry and what I do, group home. Lovey, you own group homes, right? You have that group home over there. No, 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 and no again. I do not operate group homes. Okay. A group home is that exactly what it says, a group of people living in a home. A group home, groups of people living together, maybe to cut cost, maybe to provide companionship, okay? But there's not usually going to be someone there that is going to provide care. That's why it's called a group home. You may have a busybody that lives there that tries to help other people, but that's not the norm and that's not their normal thing, that they would do. But they may just help out. Okay, but that's a group home. Usually those costs are going to be significantly different than what you see in a care home or an assisted living. A group home is going to be, I have a room available for $1,000. I have a room available for $900, 1,500, 1,800. When you are looking for placement for mom and dad and they quote you those types of rates, those are usually group homes. Okay. Now let's go to care homes. We're back at that door. Knock on the door. I will answer. Okay. So what is a care home? A care home, we already said, is somewhere where we can get care. That means somebody there, whether it's 12-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, 5-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, but however you want to play with it and add it up, it's going to add up to 24 hours a day. Somebody's going to be there or should be there. Listen to the words that's coming out of my mouth. Somebody should be there around the clock providing care. Mom or dad or Aunt Susie, Bob, they are there because they need care. They cannot safely take a bath by themselves, or they can't do it consistently. Okay. They cannot safely or consistently prepare their meals. They cannot safely or consistently do all of the activities of daily living. So therefore, they need to be somewhere that can provide those services for them. That is a care home. That is a nursing home when you add on the next component to it, which is the medical piece. The medical piece means that mom or dad has some skilled need. And what is a skilled need, Lovey? It takes the skill of a medical professional, a nurse, a doctor, to participate in their care. That is what a nursing home means. What? Lovey, you mean that I cannot just get old and then go and live in a nursing home? My goodness, what am I going to do? Because if I don't have the medical need, I can't go to a nursing home. That's right. You have heard it here first, second, and third. You have to have a medical need to live in a nursing home long-term wise. You have to. That's the rules, that's the regs. You have to have the need of a medical professional to live in a nursing home just long-term. So, what are my options? Yeah, caregiving options are scary. Living options are scary when it comes to senior citizens because the options are few. When you really peel back the layers and you look at what number one, what is the appropriate category that mom or dad fits in? And then number two, what are the options for them? You have to put them in the right seat on the bus in order for the bus to go down the street peacefully, calmly, and so that you're not going crazy because mom or dad are not in the right environment. Our number one goal here at A Touch of Love Talks is to educate you so that you can make safe decisions. What do I mean by safe decisions? I mean, so you can make sure that mom and dad, Uncle Bob, Aunt Susie are safe in their environment. They've worked too hard and for too long to be somewhere where they're not safe and they're not getting the care that they need. Let's say, let me give you some scenarios so we can break it down because some of the questions that I've been receiving while I've been working on my expansion project with my business, it's just mind-blowing to me that there's such a gap in the knowledge base of knowing what the options are and what the differences in the senior living options, add up to. So we start with independent living, group homes. Those are environments for people that really can do the majority of the stuff that they need to do every day on their own. I don't know how to make it more plainer than that. Do not put your mom and dad in a group home and they are bedbound. Do not do it. Do not. You're waiting for APS to knock on your door if you do. I'm just telling you. Because the environment is not appropriate for what their needs are. Do not place them in a big old building when they are not comfortable and they have dementia and they just are not comfortable in with a lot of fast moving activity or a lot of people. It may be that they can get the care that they need there, but is it the appropriate environment? You have to understand that just because it has a lot of bells and whistles and activities and field trips and all that, does mom or dad really want that? Or do you really want that? Hello, I'm back in the group chat. I am back in the group chat with that. Is it what mom or dad really wants, or is it what you want? Is it what you need to pacify you to say, I'm doing a great job. Do you see how pretty the building is that mom or dad lives in? Do you see how pretty, the lobby is? That means nothing if they can't receive the care that they need, right? Right place, right seat on the bus. That's what we want. If mom or dad is a mover and shaker, my goodness, y'all, Last night, y'all know I always get sidetracked. Here we go. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Last night, I was at the YMCA for a meeting. We'll leave it at that. And they were having their senior dance. And when I tell you, those seniors did not come to play. It was the cutest thing ever. People always ask me, Lovey, how can you work with seniors? Aren't they difficult? Are they? You all have no idea until you have seen them out on the dance floor, until you have had conversations with them and they're just dropping little tools and nuggets in your ear, or just to see the smiles on their faces from the things that, us younger people take for granted because we're so busy moving so fast. It was so beautiful. They were on that dance floor doing the two-step to the doo-wop, the boo-wop, the boo-boop-boop. I don't know what the song was, but it was amazing to see. And truth be told, I was a little frustrated and jealous because their knees were bending better than mine. They were out there dropping it like it was hot. One lady was down low doing some kind of dance, and it was country and western, which I love country and western music, but I'm not familiar with this line dance where you are 84 years old and you're down low to the ground. Baby, let me tell you something. She left no crumbs. She left no crumbs. She was out there doing her thing, and I was there for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I say all of that to say, if mom or dad are still wanting to do things like that, or still able to do things like that, number one, let them do it. By all means, get them to the YMCA, get them to the senior center, get them wherever, the community center, wherever they are going to be or they need to be to have those types of interactions, that type of movement, get them there to do it. But if they want to do those types of things, sometimes those types of things can be found in our beautiful assisted livings, our beautiful senior communities. We didn't even touch on that. They have these apartments, I guess, that are just for senior citizens, 55 and over, and they're known for having big events like that. So if mom and dad are still out doing that, but just maybe a house is too much for them to handle and keep up with, and they're now want to move somewhere, that may be a good option because they still get that social, you know, dancing and interaction and activities and that community that they need, right? So they wouldn't be a good fit for a nursing home, right? They may be still driving, or they may be still, just doing things that they need to be active. Nursing home probably is not the best choice for them. It could be, depending on their disease process. It could be. But when I'm on my podcast, I'm not talking about specifics. I'm talking in general. Usually, it may not be the best for the people that I'm talking about or the categories that I'm talking about or putting people in. Okay? We're not talking specifics. So don't come at me in my emails, Lovey, my mom, my dad, da da da. I know there's always an exception to the rule. Okay? But we're talking about in general, these are the types of environments for each category that I'm talking about. All right? So we talked about what a group home is. A group home is not a residential care home. I'm going to say it again. A group home is not a residential care home. It's a group home. A group of people living there. Independent living is just that. No, they're not going to come and check on mom and dad 3 times to make sure that they are eating. No, they're not going to come and give mom and dad medication. It's independent living. That means you are independently doing what you need to do. Y'all remember that song, Independ? Sorry, independent. Sorry. I don't know why I always go off. Y'all, I really need supervision. But anyway, independent. It says what it is. Independent. Independent living. It's just that. Okay. Then we have residential care homes. That is where you can get assisted living in a smaller, more intimate setting. The ratio is usually going to be less. When I say ratio, I'm talking about the ratio from staff to resident. Okay. It's usually going to be a lot less than what you're going to find in a facility that's called an assisted living. Okay. Someone asked me about that. Lovey, what's the difference? I hear that your home is an assisted living, but then there's a bigger building that's an assisted living. What's the difference? That's the difference. That's one of the differences, okay? The ratio. And that is a huge difference if that's what you're looking for. And that's what mom and dad or Aunt Susie, Uncle Bob, that's what they need, okay? If you're looking for a smaller, intimate setting, in my case, where it's going to be more personalized care, where we can tap into what your mom, your dad really needs and kind of just, love on them and hone in on that. That's what I do in my residential care homes. I can't talk about other residential care homes, but I'm telling you what happens in my homes. And then assisted livings. These are going to be bigger facilities. These are going to be bigger homes that house probably more than 16 people. And these are going to be where they're going to have, in house beauticians, in house, sometimes chefs, in house activity directors. They're going to have planned activities where you go out and do activities, maybe getting on a bus and going somewhere, okay? Let me see. They're going to have more organized events for their facilities. So again, going back to my example of the mover and the shakers last night at the YMCA, if mom or dad are needing some assistance, but they still like those type of activities, they still can get around and do those types of things, then yes, let's put them in an assisted living. That may be the best fit for them. All right. And then we're going to round out at nursing homes. Again, you have to have a medical need to be in a nursing home. All right, y'all, I hope that helps clear up some of the confusion that I was seeing in the text messages that I was getting and definitely the emails about what I was doing over here with a Touch of Love care home. That I hope that clears it up and just kind of opens you all's eyes to the differences in senior living options, because if you don't know what mom or dad needs and you put them somewhere where their needs are not going to get met, we are opening up a can of disaster. And I don't know how else to put it. When you're going through this caregiving journey, it will definitely humble you, right? It will humble you in ways that you never saw coming because it requires you to take care of people that you've grown up with taking care of you, right? Now you're responsible for taking care of them, and there's no manual, there's no book, there's no directions on the side of a box to help you out. So you've got to do the best you can. And I'm so glad that you are tapping into it's by one, listening to my podcast, A Touch of Love Talks, and you're trying to educate yourself on different options that are involved with caring for mom and dad. All right. Remember, waiting is not a plan. Hello, is this microphone still on? Waiting is not a plan. It is delay, waiting for a crisis to happen. With that, that's it for today. It's been great catching up with you all. I can't wait to get back on a regular schedule. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for keeping my podcast at the top of the numbers when it comes to my category. I'm forever grateful for you all, how you all have just taken me in and loved on me and my podcast by listening, sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting, reviewing, all of that you all are doing, and I'm so appreciative of it. Thank you again. See you later. Bye.
All right, loves, that's it for now. If this conversation helped you in any way, then go ahead and subscribe so you can stay connected. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can be in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Hey, until next time, protect your peace and advocate for the one you love.